we've talked a lot about of late. That is U.S. Steel. You may have seen over the weekend an important move there. The termination process under CFIUS, remember, President Biden had terminated Nippon's deal to acquire U.S. Steel, and it had 30 days to do so. Now it's been pushed out till June 18th, the same day that the current merger agreement between the two companies expires. So they've got time to pursue their case against CFIUS, to pursue their case against Cleveland-Cliffs and the like. But we have some other news for you this morning as well, and something that would have likely come to the fore if, in fact, that timeline had been maintained in terms of termination. And that is that Cleveland-Cliffs, of course, which our viewers may remember was the cover bid so long ago when they first sold, or agreed to that deal late in 2023 to sell U.S. Steel to Nippon, is back. And it's back, as you can see, in partnership with Nucor in another bid for the company. Now, this bid is a potential bid. There's no forcing function here any longer for them to come forward, unless, of course, President Trump were to do something in terms of immediately having the termination yet again for CFIUS or changing things. It's unclear what it means. But nonetheless, sources close to the situation indicate to me that Cleveland-Cliffs has partnered with Nucor on what would be a bid for the company in the high 30s, all cash, as opposed to the previous deal, and reflective, of course, of the change overall in the industry at this point, which has not been necessarily positive. Remember, the Nippon deal's 55, so that puts it in some perspective. As part of this, essentially, Cleveland-Cliffs would buy the company and then immediately turn around and sell the Big River Steel. That's that key unit in Arkansas to Nucor. That's what Nucor wanted. Previously, they'd taken a look at it. Cleveland-Cliffs obviously made a bid alone. There were always antitrust concerns. This conceivably would ameliorate those concerns. There would as well, I'm told, be a hell or high water that go along with it. They would keep the headquarters in Pittsburgh for U.S. Steel. They would brand the steel product as U.S. Steel. Iron ore would be under the Cliffs brand name as well. None of this may come to the fore, but it is certainly something investors may want to keep in mind as we see how this process plays out now over what could be many months in terms of Nippon's continued attempt both to challenge the CFIUS ruling, to challenge Cleveland-Cliffs, and what they say was essentially tortious interference in their deal to begin with. But they are partnered, again, sources familiar with the situation tell me, with Nucor for that bid. Whether it comes to the fore or not. And again, far below, of course, the 55. I should mention as well, with the nominating deadline coming up, you may also see some activist investors get into the fray here just to try and keep U.S. Steel honest. But if you heard the CEO on with us last week, I don't think there's any need to worry about that when it comes to their desire to try to see if they can get this deal done with Nippon Steel at that obviously very big number. Jim, it just keeps going on and on. So many different things under an incoming Trump administration, whether it be the TikTok ban, whether it be the CFIUS approach, or what it's going to mean for the Nippon Steel, U.S. Steel deal, whether it be tariffs overall and what that will mean for this industry, for example. And we're going to start to get some information as soon as a week or so from now when they come into office.
Look, I think that we have to think twice about whether this one would be Trump would kill it. I know when Trump was running, he was against the idea of Cleveland-Cliffs, or he was against the idea of Japan. Japan is so
Nippon, yeah, not Cleveland-Cliffs.
I will say,
yes.
No, but I'm going to say Cleveland-Cliffs very close to President-elect Biden. I mean, I'm sorry, President-elect Trump.
No,
very close.
Right. Yes. Yes.
And I think that there's a possibility something could happen here. So I do believe when you speak to Lorenzo Gonsalves, I'll tell you, David, he is so close to Trump that I really think that Lorenzo's got it done. I think this is a very interesting deal. I think it's fabulous for
So that's kind of what you're dealing with at this point. If, in fact, he is close enough and that the Trump administration moves back the termination date under CFIUS, under the Bidens already saying that the deal can happen, then you will have this bid, according to my sources, in the high 30s, all cash, and with the immediate sell of Big River to Nucor. So markets keep that in mind. I've been saying
Cliffs gets this from the beginning. I've been saying Cliffs get this from the beginning. I'm doubling down. They're going to get it. All right.
Well,
Cliffs
the market's digesting this, and Carl, U.S. Steel shares are
Lorenzo's a winner.
6.5%.
As we go to break, guys,
Very
let's
exciting.
watch bonds. As we said, important